No, that's our policy. It's written on our trucks. Double your garbage back if you're not satisfied.
In this video, I dive into the specifics of how the garbage and waste management industry works in The Sopranos and how it's used in their criminal operations.
All right, who gave the order to torch one of Albert's trucks?
Garbage companies are legitimate businesses. However, these companies are often heavily intertwined with the mafia and used as vehicles for criminal activity or to show legitimate income.
What line of work are you in?
I'm in a waste management business. Everybody immediately assumes you're mobbed up. It's a stereotype, and it's offensive.
It's not completely a stereotype, though, as we can see from just a sample of news articles throughout the years. Waste management companies often have contracts with local municipalities and businesses.
My crew is in line for the Raritan Township contract.
Fairfield Township's taking bids next week.
What's there to talk about? Fairfield's mine. Was yours.
These contracts are often controlled or monopolized by the mafia.
Big, what's the story with Triborough Towers?
Well, the site manager wants to renew his contract with Dick, but this Kolar Sanitation.
These contracts aren't won through fair competitive bidding. Instead, they're obtained through extortion, political bribery, or threats of violence, like we see with the Kolar brothers.
I just heard from Triborough Towers. The Kolar brothers withdrew their bid.
Companies under mob control will often overcharge clients, billing them for extra pickups or unnecessary services, like we see with the deli in Nutley.
Then I get charged double for it.
Right. We had to come out twice. The dispatcher asked you, if you're not satisfied, did you want your garbage back?
Of course I don't want garbage back.
Then you're satisfied.
Speaking of Richie, he gives Tony quite a bit of agita.
Richie Aprile.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
One of Zanoni's drivers, the illustrated man. Richie's got him running an operation, selling blow along the routes.
So you pay the tonnage, and you charge your townships a little extra for the pickup, that's all.
Sometimes we have multiple guys within the same family thinking they're next in line for the next bid or project.
Albert splits Nutley with the D'Alessio brothers, and Barone here keeps everything north of Patterson.
Actually, fellas, my cousin Larry wants the Fairfield contract.
Like the Fairfield contract, for example. Richie thinks he should get it. Albert thinks his cousin Larry should be getting it because he's in jail and his family needs the money. And Tony thinks they're both out of line.
Those who want respect, give respect.
So, Meadow, what business is your father in?
Actually, he's in waste management.
Ah, toxic chemicals, medical waste, that sort of thing?
Yeah, sort of. Environmental cleanup.
I'm through telling people you help with environmental cleanup.
He's in waste management.
Garbage?
Recycling.
If the mafia controls or has influence over a union, like we see in The Sopranos, union leaders are often bribed or threatened to ensure that the mafia gets its share of the profits.
I'm just saying, if it was me, I got kids that depend on me, like yourself. And to waste my votes on somebody like Dick Hoffman, I might as well put a bullet in my head. Here, here, and here.
Joe Zachary?
Once they have control or influence, mafia figures can direct pension fund managers to make investments that benefit mafia-controlled businesses or contractors. Just a couple of years ago, a federal judge in Chicago ended 40 years of oversight for union pension funds for the Teamsters Union. The ruling dissolved consent decrees, which had given the U.S. Department of Labor oversight of the multi-billion-dollar Teamster Pension and Welfare Fund.
I found this page with Uncle Jackie on it, and said he ran some union that ripped off these pension things or something.
But he does deal in cash, my husband. The carting business.
Now you may be wondering, so what's the difference between waste management and the carting industry? Or are they the same thing? Waste management encompasses the entire process of handling waste, while carting specifically refers to the collection and transportation of waste.
The carton business is a different corporate culture.
So as I mentioned, the waste management business provides Tony with a steady, clean-looking income to help supplement his other operations that are under the table and that he can't declare on his tax return.
Want to give me a real gift? Use one of the businesses we've got you in for something besides showing income on a tax return. You have an office at Barone Sanitation.
Paulie tells me you're thinking of selling your father's business, the Chucky Chinelli.
There's lots of things to take into account. You even know what your EBITDA is?
My what?
Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
And in season 6, Jason Barone, his son, decides that he wants to sell Barone Sanitation. He was never told by his father or mother about the arrangements that Dick had with Tony as his waste management consultant, or how things worked with any of that. Of course, Tony is not happy to learn about this, especially as he's lying in his hospital bed, having just emerged from a coma. One of the other key benefits of working for Barone Sanitation is the health insurance that comes along with it. If Tony no longer works there once Chucky Chinelli takes over, there goes his health insurance. In the end, they agreed to let Tony keep his paycheck and his W-2 for 10 years, and to replace the Skim, they'll jack up his share of the sale price to 12%. In this context, skim or skimming typically refers to taking money off the top of legitimate payments or operations. Waste management companies might overcharge customers for services, keep a portion of those payments for themselves, or underreport the amount of waste collected. Skimming is not unique to waste management. You see it here with Billy Leotardo skimming ink cartridges from the job site.
I want to cartridges now. I'm not skimming enough from this shop.
In some cases, companies might also divert waste to unauthorized dump sites to avoid disposal fees and pocket the difference.
Uno me hizo aprender mi pausa. ¿Sabes lo que tú estás respirando? ¿Sabes lo que estás comiendo con tu comida? Asbestos.
Eso.
On a symbolic level, garbage in The Sopranos represents more than just physical waste. It's also a metaphor for the moral and emotional decay of the characters, especially Tony. They manage garbage, and people who they consider garbage, for one reason or another. At the beginning of The Second Coming, we open to a pile of garbage, and then we transition to Tony and AJ lying in bed, sort of tossing and turning, looking like they don't really want to get out of bed. And to me, it's really symbolic, and it's a great illustration of this decay, this toxicity that surrounds their environment because of what Tony does for a living. Overall, when people refer to waste management, garbage, or the carting business in relation to the mafia, they're talking about garbage collection and the waste management industry, which historically was often controlled or heavily influenced by organized crime in particular regions. By having control over this industry, they can extort money, manipulate prices, bribe officials, and launder money, all while gaining influence over unionized workers and workers' pension funds. So this made it one of the most lucrative and important sectors for the mafia to control. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on The Sopranos and garbage. Their bread and butter. Or it was. What do you think?